Vanny from Security Breach is the main antagonist of the game, even though there isn't really much explanation for what she's doing, or much of her really at all in the game. But today, we aim to remedy some of the more bitter fans' reactions while we explore the things that could be possible after Security Breach's true ending, and even Vanny and Glitchtrap's real plan. That's right, that's what we're exploring today. Let's do it. In 10, taunting. Now, being a killer is one thing, assuming that is what she does when she catches us, but when you're so sadistic that you end up taunting the various characters or people, that's when it ends up getting worse. And Vanny certainly does this. Whether it's her on the sound system, or her popping up on a TV, or even her joyfully skipping towards us until she's close enough to dash, she's playing with us like we are a pet on a farm before she ultimately puts us down so the family can have dinner. Like, come on, okay? There is no way that she's just like that, especially with Afton being the one who's controlling her, essentially just like making her another version of him. Okay, so like, yeah, it's her taunting us. She's playing with her food, and that's some of the freakiest crap in this game. Okay, like imagine if like Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy was coming after you and they were just like skipping down the street in the middle of the night being lit by lampposts. That's basically what this is. God, like, and actually based on Supernatural's depiction, this is exactly how Gacy would have acted. But either way, it's creepy as hell. And at 9, survived. Not only was she playing with her food the entire game, only appearing a couple of times despite being heavily featured in the promotion, she also didn't end up dying at the end of the game like we all thought. Or well, at least she hasn't been officially confirmed as dead yet. With her not being present in the cave during the canon and true ending, we have no idea where she was or how much of the Pizzaplex was really affected. I mean, like, she could have been in the section that collapsed, which is presumably Roxy's Raceway and maybe even a bit more according to the Ruin poster, but I mean, assuming the fact that it's called Ruin, I feel like it's probably the whole thing, and she's actually not dead because we see her eyes on that poster. Like, even if the entire Pizzaplex collapsed, she could be dead, but she's probably not. But since we don't know what really happened to her while we're just like on a hill chilling with Freddy, and it's left like that on purpose, because not only is it like a FNAF game, but also they're doing this so they can go wherever the hell they want with the DLC. That's why we haven't gotten anything aside from that poster. They gave us the poster to shut us up, and then that's it. And like, Afton could have been killed by the blob, or he could have been saved by it. It's anyone's guess, which means that Vanny's ending is the most obscure, but also that means that she could come back and be the villain. And it 8, human masks. It's unclear why she does these things or like what she does with these human masks, but through the FNAF AR emails we learned that Vanessa, while in her Vanny Persona 5, ended up purchasing 3 realistic human masks. No idea why, okay, it's never brought up again, but honestly, you gotta admit that's pretty terrifying no matter what she ends up using them for. Okay, like maybe they were for realistic humanoid robots, or maybe she wanted to prank people on Omegle or chat roulette where she pretends to be a dude or something, like Onage prank style, but I don't know, okay? The possibilities are fairly finite, actually. They're not endless, but they're also kind of endless as well, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there are so many things that she could be doing with those masks that it's impossible to guess. I mean, educated guessing and like Matt Path both leaning towards like maybe one of the masks being used on Gregory, but that begs the question, where did the other 2 go, or were they even used? I don't know, okay? Vanessa and Gregory are the only 2 human characters in this game, so even if they're both robots, where's the 3rd mask go, okay? I don't know. Her buying them is scary enough, but not knowing what she used them for is just as terrifying. Like, did she hang them on the wall or something? And it's 7, missing kids. With so many Fazbear locations having kids go missing, you'd think that they'd have gone out of business permanently. But maybe every parent feels like they have something to prove, so they risk their kids' lives so that when all is said and done, they can go home and flex on the other parents at the weekly book club meeting, saying that their kids survived a trip to Freddy Fazbear's because of them. But no matter the reason, okay, at least 9 kids have once again gone missing at this newest Fazbear location, resulting in multiple complaints, but as we see in the opening cutscene where Freddy is glitching out, still a full house. We don't exactly know what happened to these kids, however we can assume that those kids were in fact made into corpses, or maybe they're just being kept and that's who we play as in the Ruined DLC. I don't know. Maybe they were used to restore Afton to full strength, which ultimately didn't work, or maybe it was just to like power the entire Pizzaplex. I don't know. Maybe they need to like a sacrifice a month in order to like recharge the building. It could be just a really messed up Monsters Inc., like the Brothers Grimm Monsters Inc. But either way, we have at least 9 kids that have gone missing thanks to Vanny, as we see in the worst ending. And it's 6 Afton. In the best ending, there were quite a few confusing moments. The most confusing one, for me at least, is the idea that Gregory would go get an ice cream with Vanessa once she was done trying to kill him. Why would you do that? Like, some seem to think that it's because they're related, or representing the dead Afton kids. And thanks to MatPat, there is a little more evidence to this, and it's because of the ice cream that Vanessa eats while on the hill. It's very reminiscent of the ice cream cone that lured Elizabeth into Baby's arm, or grabbing, scooping, range, whatever you want to say it. Cause like the cone with the tall, soft serve kinda looks like the cone with the tall, soft serve that Baby presented to Elizabeth in order to lure her in. I don't know, is that evidence or coincidence? No idea whatsoever. Halfway through in a number 5 security room. Now, locking us in a security room while we're trespassing and waiting for the cops is one thing, okay? But doing that, saying that you're calling the cops and then not calling them is something else. And then add on top of that, the fact that you then change into your serial killer persona and then come after me while I have to try and escape with a very clear present on the ground that had the exact screwdriver I needed is another thing. But some say we can't fault Vanessa on that because maybe she loses control and then Afton just takes over and it's not really her choice. But you know what? Actually, it is. I've said it before, but Vanessa knows that Afton is controlling her. Okay, well, like, maybe not exactly Afton, but she knows that someone else is in her head, and that they don't have good intentions. She knows that she's blacking out, and as we know, thanks to the CDs, she's talking about how he could always be listening. She knows about this whole thing, yet she's still locking us in a room where her psychotic double can find and kill us easily. Like, bro, come on, why would you think that that is a good idea? Just kick us out next time. Literally, just throw us out of the building. Who cares if you're gonna wait for the cops? It's a kid. It's not like he's gonna actually be charged, or even if he is, it's just gonna get expunged when he turns 18. In it for bunny suit. Now, making the suit itself isn't scary. People do that all the time, and hell, I've made a couple of costumes myself. Or at least I've helped with their creation. But the creation of the bunny suit itself, like the design of the bunny suit isn't terrifying, but the scary part is why she made it, okay? And like the implications and the reasoning behind its construction. She made the costume because William was forcing her to, and like he was taking her over, threatening her if she didn't comply, and then the suit is made to turn children into corpses. So I mean, like, it's a pretty horrifying thing to think about. Like, the original Spring Bonnie maybe wasn't made for that, and like just ended up becoming that. But I mean, Glitchtrap is very clearly sewn. It's a digital manifestation of Afton that he merely took control of and in essence made a copy of so that he would have a vessel in the game world. But it's still like an actual costume that was made with the express purpose of getting close to kids and then offing them. So yeah, it's pretty terrifying. Not to mention the fact that it would make Vanessa and Afton a furry. Getting close to the end of number 3, 2 Vannies. The rooftop ending is unlocked by exiting the Pizzaplex through the prize counter and then clicking leave, which would then prompt Freddy to burn the place to the ground and for the two of you to escape onto the roof, which is a horrible idea. They both die, and then we take off Vanny's mask, revealing Vanessa. But of course, for some reason, we're shown another couple of panels with Vanessa standing on the rooftop looking down at what just happened. This is probably one of the most confusing endings in the entire game, since it shows us that there are apparently 2 Vanessas, and while we seemingly knew about the whole double life thing, we didn't really expect the 2 characters to show up in the same room. And then in the Princess Quest ending, we save Vanny, and she drops her masks, and there's only 1 Vanessa. Okay, how are there 2 Vanessas? Like, it could be Vanessa's soul looking down at her body, okay, because like we know that souls are a thing in this universe, and then they're supposed to be able to be released with fire. Speaking of which, penultimately in number 2, Resurrected Afton. The most evil thing that Vanny did from any standpoint is resurrecting Afton, okay? From an in-universe perspective, perspective, she brought back seemingly this Earth's most prolific serial killer, and then from a story perspective, it comes out of nowhere and is forced. Like in a game sense as well, he just looks terrifying, and then he also sends all the broken animatronics after us, and then lore-wise, Afton's back. Again. However, he's also not entirely back, it seems, considering how this version it appears to be finally dead, but is functional because maybe Afton's coded consciousness is inside of it, but it also has all of his fleshy bits still. He was the arm that was shown in that one trailer that every YouTuber milked for as long as they could, us absolutely included. Are you kidding me? Daily FNAF videos? This cow has been milked so dry, it is giving us sand, but we're still going, okay? But either way, you did it. And it was a bad thing to do, and it makes you a villain, and it's gonna make you the villain of the DLC. And then finally, in a number 1 princess quest. This is a theory that I truly believe, and that I'm pretty sure has been all but confirmed, but Vanessa is certainly the princess that we play as within Princess Quest, since the game was used to lock her away in the first place, in both Help Wanted and in the version from Security Breach, which is just a recreation of the one from Help Wanted's mobile port. But there are also lore bags mentioning how Princess Quest was an arcade machine that for some reason was ported into the medium for mobile and then just wasn't destroyed for the arcade machines, and they couldn't figure out why. So this is clearly like meant to be the game that was in Help Wanted, and then since we play as Vanessa in Help Wanted, it only makes sense that Vanessa is the princess that is within the game. Plus, we have to fight our way back into our body through this game, as indicated by the sword that she gets in chapters 2 and 3. And I mean, like, we're also fighting off glitching bunnies that are like chasing us this whole time. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching. Click the video.